Hello, folks. This is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers for the drawing on July 17th, 2019. If you'd like to get my game Decoding the Powerball, then please email me at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Thank you, and please subscribe. Okay, so the object of my game is for you to correctly eliminate groups of numbers. There are 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball Lottery. Only 5 numbers can come up as winners, so that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. So for me, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. So to help me do that, I'm going to turn to the 5 strategies of my game. So strategy number 1, the game card color code. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, why I make them is to show you on how to use my game. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the game card. This is a format that I came up with that represents the 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball Lottery. I really don't have anything for the Powerball itself. My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct and win the $2 million prize with the Power Play option. Okay, so first things first is I'm going to go to the Powerball homepage. And the 5 white winning numbers that just came up were the 13, 23, 32, 35, and 68. Again, I really don't care about the red ball. Okay, so what I do is I take those 5 white winning numbers and I put it at the top of this list, and now I'm going to find out what colors they were. Okay, so the 13 was orange, the 23 was red, the 32 was green, the 35 was green, and the 68 was red. So I'm going to color these in. So again, the 13 was orange, the 23 and 68 were red, and the 32 and 35 were green. So now I'm going to count how many colors I have. I have 2 green, 2 red, and an orange for 3 colors total. Okay, so up here I'm going to make this 349 color code drawings I kept track of so far. Okay, and out of this 349 drawings, a 3-color combination has now come up 189 times. Okay, so if you quickly divide 189 into 349, you're going to see that a 3-color combination comes up more than half the time. Okay, and to me that's huge because long term, if I just keep on picking the 3-color combination, I know statistically I'm going to be correct more than half the time. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a new game card. So I'm going to get rid of all these colors and start from scratch. Okay, so right here is my color code. These are my red numbers, the orange, green, blue, and whatever's left is purple. Okay, so basically what I did is I took the 69 white ball numbers, I divided it by 5 different colors, and that's 1 color for each of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, and that equals 13.8. So my goal is to get as close to as 13 or 14 numbers per color as possible. Okay, or a good representation of each color. Okay, so again, I'm going to start in with my color code, and I'm going to start with the last 3 drawings, okay, and these are red numbers. Now, the reason why I picked the last 3 drawings is because this will give me a maximum of 15 numbers, okay? So again, I'm going to start in with the 13, the 23, 32, 35, and 68. And then the next line down is the 7, the 9, the 26, 44, and 68, which is already taken. And then the 4, the 8, the 23, which is already taken, the 46, and the 65. So again, I'm going to make these red numbers. And now I'm going to count how many I have. So over here I got 5, and 3 is 8, 1 is 9, and 4 is 13. So up here I'm going to make this 13. So this tells me how many colors I have on the game card, okay? So I'm going to start in with the orange numbers, and I'm going to start with the 40, the 43, the 45, the 50, the 61. Next line down is the 13, which is already taken, the 17, the 24, the 59, and the 62. The next line down is the 1, 5, 16, 22, 54. And the last line is 3, 6, 11, 14, and 66. So I'm gonna make these orange numbers. Now I'm gonna count how many I have. So over here I got 4 and 3 is 7, 3 is 10, 2 is 12, 3 is 15, and 4 is 19. So up here I'm gonna make this 19. Okay. So I know I have a couple more extra than I want for this orange, okay? But basically what happens is that my color code kind of works things out, okay? So next drawing, a lot of these numbers are going to go to the green area, okay? And really reduce the number on this orange here, okay? So I think you understand how I do things here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed things up. And I'm going to scroll to the right here, okay? And this is the game card for July 17th, 2019, okay? Again, there was 13 red numbers, 19 orange, turned out to be 12 green numbers, 12 blue, and 13 purple numbers, okay? So again, more than half the time, a 3-color combination comes up, okay? So that means more than half the time, 2 colors are not coming up. And that's what I want to focus on here, okay? So again, the object of the game is to eliminate groups of numbers, okay? So the strategy is since all 5 colors hardly ever come up, the strategy is to correctly guess what color won't be coming up and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card, okay? So you can see that all 5 colors, they do come up. It's come up 12 times out of 349 drawings, okay? So it does come up, but it's very rare, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a prediction on what color I don't think will be coming up, okay? And for me, I'm going to go with no red numbers, okay? Red has been kind of cold here, okay? It's come up, 2 numbers right here, but before then, there was no red numbers, and I just think that it's going to stay cold, okay? So I'm going to get rid of these red numbers, and hopefully they don't come up. Okay, so I'm going to block out these red numbers, okay? So when I block out a number like that, that means that I'm not even going to consider this number when I'm picking what I think will be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers, okay? So what I'm doing here is I'm spending $3 on a Powerball ticket, okay, which includes the power play. So in other words, I'm betting $3 that none of these red numbers will come up in the next drawing, okay? So if I'm correct with my bet and none of these red numbers come up, then I'm one step closer to that $2 million prize. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 2, the individual numbers. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the individual numbers. Okay, so basically what I did is I took all 69 numbers and I divided it into 7 different groups. Okay, so here's group number 1. It holds the numbers of 1 through 9. Okay, this is the only group with 9 numbers. Of course, the other 6 have 10 numbers for 69 numbers, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to update this here, okay? So here's the winning numbers right here, okay? So I'm going to find the 13, and I'm going to make this an orange square, okay? I'm making it orange because the 13 is orange, okay? The 13 is orange because the color code said it was orange, okay? So I already updated the rest of them, okay? I just wanted to show you what these marks are for here, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find out how many groups it hit, okay? So 13's in a group, 23's in a group, 32 and 35 are in a group, and the 68 is in a group for 4 groups total. Okay, so when I go back into the history of things, you can see that a 4 and a 3 come up the most, okay? And then it's a 5, and then once in a blue moon, a 2 will show up like right here, okay? I've never seen a 1 before. I've never seen all 5 winning numbers in one certain group. I haven't seen that yet. I'm sure it will happen someday, okay? So what I like to do is I like to reduce this down so you can see the whole card. Okay, so again, I divided this into 7 different groups, okay? So there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers, okay? So I know that 2 of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. So the strategy is try to correctly guess what group won't have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card, okay? So how this works is this big square right here, this is good for 5 drawings, okay? So I like to break it down into 5 for a couple of reasons, okay? One reason is when I go back into the history of things, it's easier to count going 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on, okay? But my theory is that if there's a lot of hits within this 5 drawings, then maybe there won't be so many hits in the next 5 drawings, or vice versa, okay? So again, the object of the game is to eliminate groups of numbers, and my prediction is that no 40 numbers are going to come up, okay? I've been, updating this for a while here, and I noticed that the average is like 3 or 4 spots in one of these 5 drawings here, okay? So here in the 40s, you can already see that there's 5 hits, okay? There's one more drawing to go right here out of this 5. And I'm going to say that this has hit its limit, okay? And I don't think any more 40 numbers are going to pop up. So I'm going to eliminate the 40 numbers off of my game card. Okay, so I'm going to blow this back up. Go to the game card. And I'm going to take off the 40 numbers, again, off of my game card here. And hopefully no 40 numbers come up. Okay, so off to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 3, the 50-50 picks. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the 50-50 picks. So again, there's 5 white winning Powerball numbers, okay? So there has to be a majority of either odd numbers or even numbers, or numbers to the high side or numbers to the low side. So I like to keep track of that and try to correctly guess what the majority will be for the upcoming drawing, okay? So if I could correctly guess what the majority will be, it will give me a huge advantage over things, okay? So let me update this. And again, the winning numbers were the 13, 23, 32, 35, and 68. So you can see that there is 1, 2, 3 odd numbers and 2 even numbers. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is make this 394. This is how many drawings I kept track of so far. And basically this goes back to October 7th, 2015. That's when the Powerball Lottery went from 59 numbers to 69 numbers. Okay, so here I'm going to make this a 3. And the evens 2. So the odds 1, so I'm going to highlight this at 203. Okay. So out of 394 drawings, 203 drawings have been the majority of odd numbers. 191 drawings have been the majority of even numbers. Okay. So here you can see that I like to break things down into 5 again, just so it will show me that majority. Okay. So you can see with this 5, it's been evens. Okay. Odds, evens. So if I scroll down a little bit where you get this big thing of odds here, then evens, couple odds, and then went evens, odds, evens, odds, evens, odds, okay? I'm going to predict that this stays to the odds, okay? So I'm going to say that more odd numbers are going to come up than even, okay? So I'm going to write that down just to remind me of my pick. So I'm going to write down evens, more even numbers than the odds. Okay, and moving on. I'm sorry, did I say more even numbers than odd? I meant more odd numbers. Again, more odd numbers than evens, okay? Sorry about that. So moving on, here with high and low, you can see that there was a little run here with low, and now it's the low 1 again, okay? But the thing that I want to highlight here is that you can see that this was 5-0, 4-1, 4-1, okay? Usually it's a 3-2 that comes up, okay? So what I'm going to say is that since this was 4-1, 4-1, and 5-0, I think that this is going to be 3-2, like right down here, okay? So I think more high numbers are going to come up than a low. So I'm going to be looking for at least 3 of them in this area here, okay? So I'm going to write that down as well. More high numbers. And moving on, I got left and right here. So here you got 4-1, 4-1, 4-1, 4-1, okay? We already got 3, and I'm going to say that this is 3-2 again. So I think more numbers are going to be over here to the left side than the right. So I'm going to write that down. Okay, and one last one that I have here is this red and blue area here. You can see that the red is really ahead, 216 drawings to 178, okay? But this is 50-50 here. I don't know what's going to happen on this next one, so I'm just going to leave this one alone. I have a feeling that it might be red, but again, I don't feel very confident about it, so again, I'm just going to leave it alone, and you know, you don't have to pick at every single one of these, okay? So moving on, this is for the Powerball number itself, the red number, okay? Basically, there's 26 red numbers. So over in this column here, I basically divided the numbers into two, okay? So if you see a blue number, then that means it's low, 1 to 13, okay? If you see a red number, that means it's high, 14 to 26, okay? Over in this column, if you see a red number, that means it's an odd number. If you see a blue number, that means it's evens, okay? So the reason why I do this is because now I just look at the colors, okay? So when I see a big long thing like this, a long streak of blue, well, I know it's going to be red eventually. I just have to correctly guess when it's going to happen, okay? And now I look at this and I see that the red has been really, really sparse, okay? So now I think that there's going to be a streak of red. So I think this next red Powerball number will be a high number, okay? So instead of looking at all 26 numbers, now I just cut it in half. Now I'm looking at just the 14 to the 26, okay? So here we got 4 red numbers in a row, okay? I'm thinking that this next one would be blue, okay? So I think it's going to be a high odd number, okay? So now I'm just going to look at the, a high even number. So now I'm just going to look at the 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, and 26. I'm just going to concentrate on those numbers now, okay? So off to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 1. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 1 numbers. Okay, so basically what I did is I divided the numbers into 4 different groups, and I put colors to these groups. So when the 5 white winning Powerball numbers land within these groups, I record where they land down here in the stats. Okay, so I'm going to do that right now. Okay, and again, the Powerball numbers were 13, 23, 32, 35, and 68. So the 13 is here in the blue. The 23 is in the blue, the 32 is in the blue, the 35 is in the orange, and the 68 is in the orange, okay? So there were no winning Powerball numbers in the red area. There are 3 in the blue, 2 in the orange, and no winning Powerball numbers in the green area, okay? So when that happens, when there's a miss like that, I color the background blue for cold, and if there's a hit, then I color the background red for hot. Okay, so again, the object of the game is to eliminate groups of numbers. Okay, so the strategy here for group 1 is try to correctly guess where these zeros are going to pop up. Okay, if I could have correctly guessed that none of these green numbers were going to come up in the last drawing, I could have eliminated all these numbers and gave myself a much better chance at winning some kind of prize. Okay, so when there's a 0, I number these. So now I'm going to make this 88. And this one 99. Okay, so this tells me how many blue marks I have in this column here. Okay. So moving on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a prediction on what I think is where the 0 is going to be. Okay. Now for me, I'm going to be going with this blue area. Okay. Now the reason why is because it just came off a run of 31 drawings in a row, where one of these blue numbers have come up, okay? So I think it's due to have a 0 here. So I think the 0 will be right here. At least I'm hoping, okay? So I'm going to get rid of these blue numbers off of my game card. So I go back to my game card, and I'm going to, again, take all these numbers off, okay? And I'm also going to make sure that that 8 is taken off too, okay? So you can see that there's numbers over here to the left on the game card. Okay, so as I go back to group 1, you can see that there's no numbers over here, okay? So what I did is what I call sharing the square, okay? So that 8 shares the square with the 66, okay? Now the reason why I did this is because I want this grid of 8 squares across and 8 squares down, okay? But that's only good for 64 numbers, okay? And there's 69 numbers in the Powerball Lottery. So I had to group a couple of these numbers up, okay? So the 8 shares the square with the 66, the 19 with the 67, the 25 with the 65, the 58 with the 68, and the 53 with the 69, okay? So if I get rid of all these blue numbers, I'm going to get rid of all these blue numbers, including the 8 and the 66, and with all the other ones as a group, okay? So moving on, my next pick, and I just want to say that there's 15 of these option cards, okay? So my next pick is going to be option card number 4, no red numbers. Now the reason why I'm picking this is because this has gone 24 drawings in a row where there's been a red number, okay? So when it gets into the 20s, I'm just thinking that it's due to miss, okay? Now again, this represents 16 numbers, okay? And I don't see any extras at all, so it's 16 numbers, but there's 69 numbers that can come up. So, you know, it's only a matter of time before there's a 0 here, okay? So again, I'm going to eliminate these red numbers off of my game card. So I'll get rid of the 1, 2, 10 here, the 34, the 33, 34, 37, 38. I'll get rid of those, and hopefully those numbers don't come up, okay? So moving on, the next one that I'm going to pick is option card number 12, no blue numbers. Again, I have 15 of these option cards, okay? Now the reason why I'm picking this blue one here is because you're going to see that a 1 comes up a lot, okay? So with this blue here, I think that this is going to be a 1 right here, okay? And as I head down this column here, you can see that a 1 hasn't come up in a long time right here, okay? So as I scroll up through, you're going to see that there's plenty of others that have 1s to it, okay? And again, this blue hasn't had a 1 in a long, long time. So I'm going to say that this is a 1 and this is a 0 right here, okay? So we'll see what happens, but I'm going to get rid of all these blue numbers right here, okay? So the 53 shares the square with that 69. And hopefully none of these numbers come up. Okay, so that's all I'm going to pick out of group 1. So I'm off to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope will, strategy number 5, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 2. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 2 numbers. Okay, so much like group 1, where I divided things into 4 different color groups, here I divided things into 8 different color groups, okay? So it's just another way of looking at groups and numbers, okay? Except with this, I know that there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So I know that 3 of these color groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. So the strategy is try to correctly guess which color group will not have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card, okay? So I'm going to update this real quick, okay? So the 13 was purple, the 23 was gray, the 32 was yellow, the 35 was orange, and the 68 was blue, okay? So I have 15 of these option cards as well, and they all have the same colors as red, blue, orange, green, purple, brown, gray, yellow. It's just that the numbers that they represent are a little bit different from each other from each different option card, okay? So I'm going to update this. So I got 1 blue, 1 orange, 1 purple, 1 gray, 1 yellow. Okay, so I had no winning Powerball numbers in the red area, 1 in the blue, 1 in the orange, no winning Powerball numbers in the green, 1 in the purple, no winning Powerball numbers in the brown, 1 in the gray, and 1 in the yellow. Okay, so over here I'm going to count how many color groups got hit. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and since the majority of the numbers are over here to the right side, I'm going to color this 5 green. Okay, so if I'm looking into the history of things and I'm looking at this 5 for some reason, okay, I see that it's red. I know that the majority of the numbers were over here to the left side, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to color a couple of these. I want to explain why some of these are blue and some of these are red, okay? So I'm going to start from the beginning here. So again, I like to break things down into 5 so it shows me that majority, okay? So you can see with this 5 drawings here, the majority is misses, okay? So when that happens, I color the background blue for cold. The next one down, you can see that the majority is hits. So I color the background red for hot, okay? So we all know the lottery is random, and this is what random looks like, okay? So when I see something like this, something where it's been really, really hot, well, I know that it's going to turn cold eventually, okay? I just have to correctly guess when that's going to happen. So for this one here, I'm going to make a prediction that the 0 is going to be right here, okay? And that this will turn blue, okay? But right now I'm going to color it yellow because it's right on the verge, 2 and 2, okay? This one is already going to be red, 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 and red. And this one's going to be blue. Okay, so I got 3 of these things that, it's either going to be red or it's going to be blue, okay? So right here, again, I think that it's going to be blue, so I'm going to get rid of the red numbers off of my game card, okay? So the red numbers are 1 down to the 57. So as I go back to my game card, I'm going to eliminate these, okay? So I'm going to get rid of the 17, the 25, because it shares the square with the 65, and the 57. So hopefully none of those numbers come up, okay? Now moving on to option card number 2. I am going to go with no red again, okay? I'm going to go with so no red numbers. And that's the 1 to the 66. So I'll get rid of that 3, okay? And I'm going to keep on making these picks until I get all the way down to the end, okay? And what I'm going to do is the numbers that I'm going to go with are the 11, 27, 50, 51, and 59. Okay, so as I'm moving on here, I just want to say, as Sherlock Holmes would say, okay, it's a matter of deduction. If these blocked out numbers don't come up, then the highlighted numbers have to, okay? So in closing, I want to thank you for watching, okay? If you'd like to support my channel, then please go to my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball. And as always, I want to wish you the best of luck with your picks.